Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get this meeting started for the September 18th board meeting of the Cannabis Compliance Board. Director Hum, if we could please call the meeting to or have a roll call, please.
Thank you, Chair. Vice Chair Direct?
Here.
Member Merrick, who we know was absent today. Dr. Mazarana?
Here.
General Barry?
Present.
And Chair Guzman Freilich?
Present.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, and then before we go into our very first public comment, I just need to read a statement here into the record. And this is per the Assembly Bill 64 of the 2025 legislative session. Public bodies are no longer required to take public comment online or by phone if there's a physical location for the meeting. So starting November of this year, we'll continue to take online comment or phone comment today and also in October, but starting in November, the CCB will only be taking in-person comment during monthly board meetings. If you wish to provide public comment and are unable to attend in person, you can submit your comment in writing to ccbmeetings@ccb.nv.gov. To ensure your comment is received by the board in time for the meeting, please submit by 5 p.m. the day before the meeting. All public comment will be posted on the CCB's website. And with that, we'll go ahead and we will start public comment down here in the south. We'll go in the north and we'll also do it online. If we could just have the instructions for the online and the phone public comment, please.
To provide public comment via telephone, call 669-444-9171. Followed by webinar ID 850-0429-6676.
Thank you. And with that, we'll go ahead and have public comment in the south. Anybody wishing to provide public comment, go ahead and come up to the podium and state your name for the record. I don't see any public comment in the south. Is there any public comment in the north?
Negative.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and go online. Any public online or on public comment online or by phone?
If you wish to provide public comment, dial *9 to raise your hand if joining by phone, or click the raise hand icon if joining via Zoom. We have no online comment.
Thank you. Moving right along, then we'll go ahead and go on to item number 2 on our agenda. This is the consent agenda. These items are subject to a single collective motion for approval without discussion. Items can be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any board member. If not, we can go ahead and vote on them in one single collective motion. Are there any board members that wish to take any items off of the consent agenda? If not, then I'll go ahead and take a motion.
Member Barry, I move to approve the consent agenda item 2.
We have a first. Is there a second?
Member Mazarana seconds that.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we have our complaints on our agenda, item number 3. We've got 3 complaints. These are for approval to proceed with disciplinary action. And if we could please have, who's going to present on?
It'll be myself, Chair, and then any questions Allison can answer.
Perfect.
Item 3 on the agenda concerns 2 proposed complaints for disciplinary action under NRS 678A-510. While Respondent A and Respondent B are unrelated, these 2 licenses face similar allegations of allowing a person under the age of 21 to enter into and make a purchase from a cannabis dispensary. The proposed complaints detail the allegations against the respective respondents. However, the name, license number, and personally identifying information have been removed. The identity would only be revealed if this board votes to proceed with disciplinary action and the complaint is legally served. Deputies from the Attorney General's office have reviewed the evidence and have recommended proceeding with disciplinary action. The board has had the opportunity to review the proposed complaints prepared by the Attorney General's office. NRS 678A 510 now requires this board to make one of three possible determinations regarding the proposed disciplinary action. Option 1, the board may decline to proceed with disciplinary action. Option 2, the board may authorize the Attorney General to enter into settlement negotiations with respective respondent with a return report to this body. Option 3, the board may proceed with disciplinary action. Notably, even if the board decides to proceed with disciplinary action, the respondent is still free to engage in settlement discussions, and the case may be resolved by a settlement agreement at any time during the disciplinary process. A written order has been included in the materials before you, so the board may memorialize its determination. A separate vote will be needed for each respondent. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that. With that, we've got three proposed disciplinary actions. Well, I'll start with item A. Is there any discussion on item A? If not, I'll go ahead and take a motion.
Member Durrett, I move to authorize service of the complaint on respondent A.
Member Berry, second.
You have an older version.
Okay. All right, we've got a first and we've got a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that's item A. We've got item B. Any discussion with regard to the proposed disciplinary action with regard to respondent B? If not, I'm prepared to take a motion.
Member Mazzarano moves to authorize the Executive Director and the Nevada Attorney General's office to serve the complaint and proceed with disciplinary action against the respondent.
Okay, is there a second?
Member Berry, second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and I just want to clarify, I said there was 3 items. Actually, there are only 2 on this agenda. So that's it for item Roman numeral 3 with regard to the complaints. And we'll go ahead and move on to item 4. This is a status check in consideration of additional extension to submit a transfer of interest application.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. For the record, this is Emily Bordelove, Senior Deputy Attorney General, appearing as counsel for the CCB to introduce and give background and context to item 4. As you may recall, the settlement agreement for case 2023-003 was before the board in January as part of a global settlement. This deals specifically with a retail dispensary license under facility number D186 for Respondent Clark NMSD LLC, and as noted in the agenda and settlement agreement, D186 has a prospective retail attached consumption lounge license. One of the conditions of the settlement was that respondent would transfer the D186 license and the attached to new owners, and they had a deadline to identify a buyer and submit a transfer of interest application by October 13th at the latest, including all extensions. The parties agreed that if an issue with meeting that deadline arose, the item would be put back before the board to discuss an extension. Based on correspondence received, respondent has identified a buyer. However, there has been a delay in submitting the application due to ongoing litigation involving the ownership of the parent company. A minute order has been issued by the court granting the motion to enforce the settlement agreement. However, no actionable order has been filed yet. Here today for the status check to answer any questions the board may have are counsel for respondent Amanda Connor, and the parties to the litigation have also been noticed, including the prospective buyer, Desert Evolution. I'm also available to answer any questions, substantive questions the boards may have.
Thank you, Ms. Mortala. Good morning.
Good morning. Amanda Connor with the law firm of Connor & Connor on behalf of Clark NMSD D186 specifically. As Ms. Bordelove covered, we are here today in regards to the settlement agreement It was approved in January. At that time, as you guys may recall, there was some discussion about adding additional opportunities for extensions to submit the transfer, but it was agreed and a part of the motion that if that was needed, we would come back for a status check. I believe Ms. Bordello covered it, and you may be aware, but they have been actively pursuing and have identified a buyer. There is ongoing litigation, and there was recently a hearing in that and a minute order from the judge related to the settlement and the proposed transaction. But we are requesting additional time to submit, to finalize everything with the settlement agreement, the purchase agreement, and to submit a TOI to the CCB. We would kindly request an extension similar to what was contemplated in the settlement, where we could request additional 2 extensions, giving 90 days at a time.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Bridget Higgins with Black & Wadhams. I represent the receiver, Dotam Melik, in the CW Nevada case. That is where the motion to enforce the settlement was filed. The minute order was entered by the judge. The actual order has been circulated. It is sitting with Shane Terry's counsel, but I have informed him that I am going to submit it this morning because he's had it for 10 days. So it will be submitted to the court this morning for approval.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board members?
Member Durrett, just because I'm wondering how long this will take, so how long you would need an extension. You're probably not going to have cooperation on the transfer, but will you not need cooperation from the other party? So the parties that are disputing the settlement and the transfer, would you need them to sign off on the TOI?
Amanda Connor, for the record, we would not need the signature on the transfer of interest documents, but the delay is that they do need to sign the settlement agreement or have a court order that enforces that settlement agreement before we can move forward with the transaction.
But that, you just need an entry of the current order that's pending, right?
Bridget Higgins, correct, Ron?
Okay, thanks.
Member Berry?
Yes, Member Barry.
Is the request for 2 90-day extensions or 1 90-day extension?
Amanda Connor, for the record, at this time we would request an additional 2 90-day extensions. As I'm sure you guys can understand and appreciate, litigation can have a lot of unknowns and unexpected turns. So we are coming close to the current expiration, which is in October. This is the last time we could come before you before the current extension expires. So just in an abundance of caution, we'd request 2 additional 90-day extensions and the same opportunity to come back for a status check at the end if needed.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just for clarification, would you come back for the status check after the first 90 days or after the second 90 days?
I believe the way it currently worked is we came back for the status check before the second extension expired. So I would request it function the same way.
Thank you.
Member Durrett, one more question. And then would the status check be on whether the TOI was filed?
The status check, I believe, would be on whether, if a TOI is filed, I do not believe a status check would be needed. Staff could then just begin processing the TOI. But the status check would be if additional time is needed or to provide an update to the board on what has transpired since that time.
Okay, thanks.
Any additional questions? Okay, with that, I'll take a motion.
Member Durrett, I move to approve agenda item 4.4, Clark NMSD's request for 2 90-day extensions with the anticipation that upon the expiration of that or prior to the expiration, we would hold a status check to ensure that the litigation has been wrapped up and the TOI has been filed.
Thank you. We have a first. Is there a second?
Member Berry, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Take care. Thank you. So with that, we'll go ahead and go on to item number 5. Item number 5 is the approvals for the consumption lounges. We have 2 on the agenda, A and B. We'll start with A. And Chief Staley, thank you.
Chair Guzman-Frelick, members of the board, for the record, I'm David Staley, Division Chief of Investigations for the CCB. I'm here to present agenda item number 5, which consists of a request for approval of a conditional license for a retail attached consumption lounge and for an independent cannabis consumption lounge by a social equity applicant. If this board approves conditional licensure, the applicants will still need to complete necessary local approvals and final inspection by the CCB's inspection and audit divisions before they can open for business. Item A is a request for approval from TRNV P098 LLC for a retail attached consumption lounge under application number ACON A22000076. TRNV P098 plans to open a consumption lounge in Las Vegas to focus on providing a safe and legal place to relax, enjoy, and learn about cannabis products along like-minded individuals. TRNV P098 has submitted all information required to move to a conditional license status. No areas of concern were developed in connection with this investigation. I'm available for any questions, and my understanding is that Shane Terry is available to address any questions you may have as well. With that, Chair Guzman-Frelick, I'll turn this item back to you.
Great, thank you. And we have Mr. Terry here with us, or representative?
Yes, I am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we've got no areas of concern. Let us know what your plans are and how's everything? How's business? How's it going?
I think I'm sure you're well aware it's been a challenging last couple of years in the industry, and but we're hanging in there. And I did want to clarify that this consumption lounge license isn't for Las Vegas; it's actually for Story County up in northern Nevada. We're still working through local jurisdictional challenges, so we don't necessarily have an end in sight, but actively trying to manage that process.
Okay, and in Story County, are you talking about Virginia City? Or are you talking about closer to the track?
They haven't even developed it. I think there has been some resistance in Virginia City. TRAC seems to be the more favorable area for cannabis businesses to go. As you're probably aware, there's been an operating dispensary there for a while. So I would guess that most likely it's going to go through TRAC, but we haven't gone through that local process yet.
Okay.
Can we take one, please?
Just one moment, please. Okay, thank you. We just wanted to clarify with regard to the approval of an attached lounge for Story County. So as we're checking on that, any additional comments that you have before I open it up to the board for any questions?
No, I don't think so. Happy to field any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for appearing. Any questions from the board members?
Member Drett, so you said there is a dispensary in Virginia City? I wasn't aware of that. I should know that.
No, there is one in Story County in TRAC.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the industrial park that's just
park.
to the
Okay.
east of Reno.
Okay, I'm from up there, but that's been developed since I left. So nowhere does the dispensary belong more than Virginia City. It's such a weird place. They need a dispensary. Okay, thank you.
And I agree with you. If we could get that across the finish line, I think it'd be a perfect fit.
Conceptually.
So, Mr. Terry, we need to clarify, because our records show that we only approved an attached lounge for Washoe County, just for, in Clark County, and not for Story County. So we need to check our records. We're going to have to push this off to October, most likely, correct? What's your understanding as far as the attached lounge being granted to you for Story County?
I know that was the county that we specifically applied for. We actually don't even have any dispensaries in Las Vegas. We only have the one in Story and a few other Northern Nevada jurisdictions. So I know at the time when we applied, they hadn't worked anything. We were still working through some of the dispensary challenges and zoning regulations, and I don't think that's progressed all that much on the local level. So just to be transparent, we've identified a few locations that we think would be suitable for us, but until the zoning regulations are relaxed, we're probably not going to be able to move forward with them.
Okay, so we have some time.
That's correct. Yes, there's not a rush on our side.
Okay, all right, and there's Story County. So, do we know if there are any changes going to happen with regard to the on the political scene that might change? That might change too, but that's not for another year.
I'm not really sure. As far as if you're asking if there's county commissioners that would term out, I don't have that turnover schedule on available, but I think our first priority, because it's attached lounge, has certainly been to focus on the dispensary side. And once we're able to get moving forward on the dispensary and secure some usable land there, then obviously I think that would put us in a much better position to have that conversation with the local regulators. And we just figured until that happens, there wasn't much point in stirring up any, I wouldn't say controversy, but any discussion around it if we knew that we still had a pretty important first hurdle to pass through.
Okay, well, let us check our records and make sure that we have everything that we need. I know we do have other items that you have on our agenda, so just hang tight and we'll be back. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, then we'll go to Consumption Lounge B. Chief Staley.
Chair Guzman-Freilich, members of the board, for the record, I'm David Staley. Item B is request for approval from Anacol LLC for a social equity independent consumption lounge under application number ACON A22-00090. Anacol owner Bernard Barth plans to open a consumption lounge in Las Vegas and focus on the locals market to provide cannabis cocktails, live entertainment, curated events, private space for product testing, and a membership program. Anacol has supported all information required to move to a conditional license status. No areas of concern were developed in connection with this investigation. I am available for any questions, and my understanding is that Bernard Garth is available to address any questions you may have as well. With that, Chair Guzman-Freilich, I'll turn this item back to you.
Thank you. And who do we have presenting for item B? Is it Anacol or Anacol? 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 I don't think we have anybody presenting. Oh, wait. Okay, good. Otherwise, we would have just trailed it. Good morning. Was it Bernard Garth that was going to join us? Okay. Mr. Garth, we're just waiting for you to come on so that we can continue with your agenda item.
This is Bernard Garth.
Oh, there we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're on your agenda item for consideration of approval of the Independent Social Equity Consumption Lounge. Welcome, and just there are no areas of concern with regard to your application, and so we just want to hear a little bit about you, what your plans are, and before we open it up to the board members for any questions that they might have.
Okay. Well, we were waiting to get the approval from you guys before we really started getting onto a location and getting into all that. But we want to provide a good entertainment space for people to enjoy.
Okay, and I understand it's going to be called Infinity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we also have you have two parts here on our agenda. The first one, this is the approval of your consumption lounge, and then next we'll go on to the transfer of interest, but we'll handle those separately. So right now we're on the part of the approval for the consumption lounge. So I'll go ahead and open it up to the board members to see if they have any questions of you, and then we'll go on to a vote, okay?
All right.
Any questions from the board members?
Member Drett, I'm just wondering, have you been in touch with other consumption lounge license holders? Because I think Vegas and the cannabis world is a small community, and there have been a lot of growing pains in this area. And so I'm just hoping you're in touch with other people to help get guidance and know, where the pitfalls lie.
Yes, ma'am. We've been in touch with other people trying to see what's going on and, like I say, the pitfalls of it. And we know it's a difficult process, but we're prepared.
Yeah, like specifically, we had one that opened, and I think they had a lot of capital behind them, and then they weren't able to make it work. But I know in Colorado, there's one that's really popular that is able to make it work. So I think just that's great that you're gathering all that information and being very aware of how tough of business that is.
Yes, ma'am. We know it's a difficult process for sure.
Any additional questions from board members?
Member Barry, I just have to kind of echo that it's a tough business, and just want to, and when you talked about being prepared, I'm just hopeful that taking the steps and the track record of really finding out so you can have the best opportunity for success and understand some of the pitfalls and challenges along the way. So I'm just hopeful that and I have confidence you have the homework done, but just want to reassure that you guys are good and know what you're getting into.
Yes, we appreciate it.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is. It's been a lot.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I echo that as well. But we want to set you up for success, and I know staff are always here available to answer any questions that you might have or direct you to any places where you need to go to have all the tools that you need. Okay.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Dana and the team have been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and get a motion on the floor so that we can vote on it.
Member Barry, I move to approve agenda item 5B, conditional independent consumption lounge license for Annika LLC.
Thank you. We have a first.
Member Mazarana seconds that.
And we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stick around.
Oh.
They're next.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And you're next. So we'll go on to the next in 1 minute. Okay, thank you. All right, next. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. All right. We're going to really quickly, we're going to go ahead and do a motion to table the last item before you. And that was the retail attached consumption lounge, TRNVPO98 LLC. Do I have a motion to table it for the next meeting?
Move to table item 5A.
Member Mezrana seconds that.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and now we'll go on to item number 6, which is the request for transfer of interest. Chief Staley.
Chair Guzman Freilich, members of the board, for the record, I'm David Staley. I'm here to present agenda item number 6, which consists of 3 transfer of interest or TOI applications. Item A is a TOI application by Anacol LLC. TOI number 25003 was filed requesting approval for Bernard Garth to transfer 20% of his Anacol ownership to his wife, Erica Gilliland. Both individuals plan to be involved in the operation of Anacol's Consumption Lounge. No areas of concern were developed in connection with this investigation. I'm available for any questions, and my understanding is that Bernard Garth and Erica Gilliland are available to address any questions you may have as well. With that, Chair Guzman Freilich, I'll turn this item back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. And Mr. Garth, is it Anacol or Anacal?
Anacol.
Anacol, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what you're trying to do here is just you want to give 20% over to your wife.
Yes, ma'am.
Sitting there next to you. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Okay. Well, that's what we have. That's a simple transaction. And so with that, I'll open up to the board for any questions that they might have. Any questions from the board with regard to this transfer of interest, which is a 20% interest in Anacol LLC, ownership interest in the license? I don't think we have any questions.
Okay.
All right. Member Barry, you have any questions?
No questions.
Would you like
Ready to
would
make
you
a
like
motion?
to make a motion?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
I move to approve agenda item 6A TOI number 25-3, allowing the transfer of 20% interest in Anacol LLC from Bernard Barth to Erica Gillian. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Member Mezrana seconds that.
We have first, second. Any discussion? Motion carries. Oh, no, we didn't vote. Sorry. Okay, we need to vote on this. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. You're now 20%
Thank you.
owner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll now go on to item B. This is the Indoor Garden Farms LLC transferring licenses. Mr. Seeley.
Chair Guzman Freilich, members of the board, for the record, I'm David Staley. Item B is a TOI application by Indoor Garden Farms LLC. TOI number 2500008 was filed requesting approval for Indoor Garden to sell its Carson City cultivation and production licenses to Sunday Co. LLC. Sunday Co. has been assisting Indoor Gardens through a management services agreement since the relationship was approved by this board on May 15th of 2025. Sunday Co. is jointly owned by Matt Price, Nakul Patel, and Jessica Green. An area of concern was developed in connection with this investigation because Matt Price owns outstanding tax liabilities to the Internal Revenue Service and the state of Oregon associated with his Oregon cannabis operations during 2021. While Price has been paying amounts to extinguish his outstanding tax debt, he still has a cumulative amount outstanding to both the IRS and state of Oregon of approximately $920,000. I'm available for any questions, and my understanding is that Alicia Ashcraft, Mina Mafua, Chad and Carissa McCoy, Ricky DiCarlo, Matt Price, Nakul Patel, and Jessica Green are available to address any questions you may have as well. With that, Chair Guzman-Frelick, I'll turn this item back to you.
Thank you. Ms. Ashcraft.
Good morning, Chair Guzman-Frelick, Vice Chair Durrett, members of the board. Alicia Ashcraft of the law firm of Ashcraft and Barr on behalf of Sunday Co. With me down south, we've got a full complement today, both north and south, is Jessica Green and Nakul Patel. And up north is Matt Price. And then I also believe up north are representatives from Indoor Garden Farms.
Okay.
I was just giving them an opportunity if they wanted to.
I don't think we can see them just yet. The camera usually pans back and then we'll be able to see them, but there we go. Okay, welcome. Okay, let us know what's happening here. I know we've got some items of concern that we'll want to hear about, only because again, we want businesses to succeed. We want to make sure that we have viable candidates, owners are able to keep the business going and keep employees employed. Very important for the state of Nevada to make sure that we hold up these businesses. And so I'm sure that my colleagues will have lots of questions, but if you have an affirmative presentation, this would be the time to go ahead and go into that.
Sure. Go ahead, Matt.
Hi, my name is Matt Price. We did not put together a presentation, but I wanted to, let you guys know who I am and what we're doing with Sunday Co. I've been in the cannabis industry for about 20 years, and yes, I bumped my head relatively hard in the beginning days when I was younger. That being said, I'm very passionate about the cannabis space. We have managed to take what was a shutdown facility here in the state of Nevada and turn it into a profitable entity that now employs 10 plus people. We are off to a path to success at this point. All product that we produce currently is spoken for, which is kind of a rarity in this industry here. So we have really focused on craft, high quality product, and I'm in the farm every day myself. I thrive on that side of the fence, and I have great partners on the other side of the fence to make sure that the business stays successful and we continue to move forward. As far as the ability to operate this business, we're very confident that we will be able to continue the success that we've already built, and we're going to do that by continuing to cultivate high quality product, not getting over our skis, staying small, and adapting to what the people of Nevada, want from that standpoint. And we truly think that the craft market here in Nevada has a really great opportunity to thrive, and I think that we will be a poster child for that.
And if I could just clarify, in case the board doesn't recall, that Sunday Co. has an approved management services agreement. So they've been operating this location for a few months now since that took place in anticipation of the transfer of interest.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I understand there's, so is it Mina? And Mina?
Mina, yeah, Mina Mafua with Indoor Garden Farms.
Okay, thank you. And you will then, after this transaction, you will no longer be there? Is that my understanding, or you'll be there?
No, I will not be at the cultivation facility. We have indoor garden farms open right now. We have sold the building over to the Sunday Company. And then after the transfer of interest is completed, then indoor garden farms will no longer exist.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that I've got all of the players straight as far as who's staying, who's going, and okay. And then, so the buildings and assets were sold already. You have the management agreement that you've been managing. And so now the only thing that's pending is just the transfer of the license, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and open it up to, for the rest of the board and let everybody else have an opportunity to speak on their behalf.
Member Durrett, okay, I'm just gonna rip off the Band-Aid and ask Matt about these outstanding tax liabilities that if this was approved, it would be the first, well, or counsel. Are you Matt's counsel? Are you Sunday's counsel?
I represent
Okay.
Sunday Co, but yes. I just wanted you to complete your sentence. The first.
So the outstanding tax liabilities to the state of Oregon and to the IRS?
Yeah, so I'll point out, if I may, just two things, and of course I want Matt to answer any questions that the members have. So Matt was part of a group, different group entirely, a couple of years ago, and this issue came up and we addressed it, which is what happened. I will point out, and I think Matt can clarify as well, that these, while it was related to income from, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, cannabis operations in Oregon, it was with respect to his income. The businesses did not have tax deficiencies. The businesses were compliant. It was based on some bad advice that he received, but that's not an excuse. So he takes ownership of it and has worked to become compliant and correct the issue. So I just want to make sure it's clear, because Chair Guzman-Freilich brought up an important point, which is the board has a vested interest in making sure that the businesses are compliant. His businesses were compliant. This was bad personal tax advice on revenues that he received, his personal income. That said, he's taking care of it. It's a lot. Chief Staley mentioned the numbers. It's a lot, but he's working on it. And he's working compliantly in the industry. They've been working under the management services agreement with no issues. I just want to point out in the background behind Matt is Chad Westham. They've been working very closely with Chad Westham and Voracious to make sure that they're running compliant operations. So that's very important to this group as well, in addition to Jessica and Nicole, who are with me here in the South. So I just want to make that very clear. So Matt was part of that prior group. We had put forward all of the information at that time, and he was approved as he was a cultivation manager. He was in a position that was significant enough where he was called forward for determination of suitability. That passed. He didn't stay with that group. He moved on, and that's where this group was born. So this board has previously approved Matt under just these circumstances. And so I just want to make that clear, but we're happy to answer any questions you have now of him in conjunction with this application before you today.
I have a follow-up question. Is Matt an owner of any facilities, or he's just, his company is the manager?
He's a co-owner of Sunday Co.
That's currently managing.
That was approved for the MSA and that is now seeking this transfer of interest of the license.
So he's not a licensee yet?
Not yet.
Right, okay.
And Member Berry, and I guess I would like to hear from Matt, because I do think at times there could be a relationship between the business and personal for obvious reasons, and reassurance from a suitability and stability standpoint, the ability to move forward considering the current condition that you're in.
Yes, sir. So, Alicia's speaking about the bad advice that I received. So I owned and I operated 5 dispensaries in a large cultivation facility very successfully in the state of Oregon. I was part of an MSO coming and buying me, taking me public. During that time, I had tax liabilities. I paid them in full. I ended up with a penalty because of a filing issue that I had, which was my fault. I can sit here and put blame everywhere else, but at the end of the day, it lies with me. I had a substantial amount of money in stock. The IRS actually told me, hey, why don't you wait till the stock matures and then you pull that out, right? Well, in that time period, while my ability to sell that stock happened, that stock went from $24 a share to 87 cents a share, and I was left sitting on my hands. And so a large portion of my tax liabilities, which I actively have payment plans with and those types of things, right? A large portion of that is interest. And so it went from, hey, this is gonna get taken care of when this happens, to a stock absolutely falling through the floor and me sitting in a situation where I was unable to pay the full amount. And so I've been living on payment plans for almost the last 10 years. 2018 will be the 10th year of this. And so, you know, we refile every 2 years, and we continue to work on it. And that's really all that's within my power to do. And that keeps me compliant with the IRS. You know, we actively, like I said, I'm in active communication with them. We actively have payment plans for these, for the outstanding balances, and I put myself in an unfortunate situation at a very early age. I was 25 years old, and if I knew now what I know then, I assure you that wouldn't be something that would have occurred.
Member Durrett, either you're a great public speaker or Alicia really prepared you very well. Either way, compliments, because that is great information. That's exactly what I would have wanted to know about. But I want to know a little more. I forgot my question with my whole prologue. What was it? So in Nevada, you may have seen through these hearings, a couple years ago, we were extremely strict about taxes. If you had any outstanding liability, you were referred for discipline. If you were approved, would your approach be to never have an outstanding tax whatsoever? Because now there are outstanding taxes and with some of the facilities, and it's becoming a little more normal. And I think as a board member, I don't think that should be normalized. And so I just wouldn't want to see you approved and then you have outstanding tax liabilities.
Member Durrett, I'm honestly, Alicia prepared me a little bit, but I'm speaking with full sincerity here. You know, I love what I do for a living. This is what I've done for my entire life, you know, and so as far as outstanding tax debts are concerned, I can assure you that absolutely not will we ever want to put ourselves or ever will put ourselves in a situation where that will occur. We actively have a CFO that as invoices are being paid, that the funds are pulled out and set aside for taxes at the end of the month. This is not something that I ever want to ever have to tangle with again. It's something that I've had to deal with for over a decade, right? And this is how I earn my living, is by doing what I do, and I'm good at it. My business is, once again, you know, I own 5 retail stores in the state of Oregon, which same thing. I mean, there was significant people that were in the rears in taxes. We were never. I had one hit on a compliance issue, and we had a camera issue that was later resolved in 8 years of operations. I'm very, very serious about how I run my businesses, and I have incredible support with both Nicole and Jessica, as well as Chad and Alicia, and our CFO. I mean, we are very much so. It's compliance or nothing. I mean, there's no, if we're not compliant, we don't get to do what we do for a living, right? And that's really what this comes down to.
2 more questions. And I mean, I meant with the businesses, the commitment would be to have a culture of never having overdue
100%.
taxes.
Yes, 100%. You have my absolute commitment that we will never, never, never accrue a tax bill with you guys. I assure you, my fear of any of this is very deep. So it's a top priority for us.
And then my other question was, and I can't guarantee that it's going to get approved. I'm only speaking for myself. I had one more question. It was, Nevada is a lot tougher than Oregon, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we have Oregon is a very, very saturated market. The Nevada market has accepted us with open arms, and I think the key to being successful in the Nevada market is to not outgrow yourself. We maintain a small facility. We have no ideals of grandeur and massive growth. We just want to run a very healthy, successful business, and that's what we have laid the groundwork for during the MSA, and we're confident that we'll be able to continue.
I meant regulatory-wise.
Regulatory-wise, Nevada is a far more nuanced state than Oregon is, and for good reason. I mean, Oregon. I left Oregon in 2018 before it really started to go crazy, and so I think the Nevada regulations are on point. I think they're there and they protect everybody involved.
Thanks.
Member Berry, and I apologize for not remembering the name of the individual behind you and how the relationship began and support.
So this is Chad Westham.
Okay. I just want to know your role and how you working together.
Member Berry, yeah, Chad Westham. I run Voracious Compliance Solutions, assisting numerous licensed facilities in Nevada. I was formerly the bureau chief over cannabis back at the health division when this all started.
And your role again, working together?
My limited staff and we help Matt and the Sunday company with compliance issues. We're in there every week, sometimes multiple times a week, reviewing files, reviewing data, audit issues, potential audit issues, and training records, getting them all up to speed, and training staff, and of course looking at facility issues and cameras. So it's a very proactive third-party compliance effort that keeps Sunday Company in compliance as well as the other clients of Voracious. Did I answer your question?
Yes, I just think that's an important role to hear.
All right.
So thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions from the board with regard to the item before us? And then we also have individuals down here on the south that we haven't heard from, so I'd love to hear from you as well. Any additional questions? No, we'll go ahead and hear from you.
Hi, I can start. First, I'll apologize. I'm having a throat thing, so I sound like a frog, but I can get out whatever you need. I'm Jessica Green. Nicole and I have known Matt for a long time. Nicole and I went to law school together. We graduated from Boyd in 2011. We're licensed in good standing. We started this thing about a year ago with a facility in Reno, focusing small batch product like Matt has explained. I personally don't have any concerns about Matt's history, if that matters. I mean, we've been through this. It's not something we're willing to answer for. We have no concerns. We wouldn't have entered into a partnership this large with somebody if we had concerns that way. So willing to stand on that for him. And I'm here to answer any questions that you might have of us.
Thank you.
I'm Nicole Patel. I'm also a partner in Sunday Co. Like Jessica mentioned, I went to Boyd. I'm a licensed attorney in the state of Nevada. My background is actually in tax law, so I handle a lot of sophisticated tax matters. I have a tax LLM from Northwestern. But my role here with the company, I have financed the bulk of it. I own the building EXM, so it's not, to clarify, Sunday Co. doesn't own 5700 Morgan Mill. That is one of my LLCs that owns it. But I'm also a partner at Sunday Co. My background now is mostly in real estate, but I own several different businesses in the Las Vegas area, including a real estate development company. I have a tattoo shop, a whole bunch of random businesses, actually.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions from the board members? With regard to going back to the tax matter, Matt, you do have a payment plan with the state of Oregon as well as the IRS?
Yes, so those payment plans are actively being reinstated. We had to get 2024 filed up, and so that's something that I've been working on for this last year. But the answer to your question is they are in progress and will be fully reinstated here shortly. So they do a reassessment every 2 years, and so that's how it works. And so with the 2-year gap, they wait for that year's taxes to be filed, which have been completed. And so with the pace of which, unfortunately, right now the federal government runs, it's in the queue, you know.
Okay, thank you for that. Any additional questions from the board members before I bring it back to the board for a motion and a vote?
Member Mazarano, can you give us some sense of when your tax burden for the state of Oregon and the federal government is due to be completed?
At this time, we were actively working on a global settlement, and ideally it should be completed by, the anticipation is by the end of 2029 at this point.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Okay, thank you. And with that, I'll go ahead and bring it back to the board for any discussion. If no discussion, I'm prepared to take a motion at this point.
Member Dratt, I would love to hear what the other board members think. Before the hearing, I felt like if we find Matt Price suitable, who do we not find suitable? But you have this great team. I can totally understand what happened and how unfortunate that is, and it's been a big burden over your life, and that doesn't mean you can't succeed in these businesses. So just thinking out loud, I would be comfortable doing some sort of conditional approval where we come back for like a status check in a year to make sure that the business doesn't have any outstanding taxes. That's just me. I'm very impressionable, so I'd like to hear what the other board members think.
Member Barry, you beat me to that. I was going to say as long as we had I don't know if we had to ask legal, but some conditions attached to it to get regular updates, I would feel much more comfortable if we had the ability to do that.
Okay, I just wanted to chime in and just say, cannabis is different, especially in this environment. I mean, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I came into it with nobody gets a license. Everything has to be clean. Everybody's going to be perfect. And times have changed. I've changed. Just being on this board, and I think I'm a little bit more forgiving, especially considering the climate, the business. I've seen a lot of people that come before us that are really struggling and they're trying hard to make it work. And so with that, I just want to ask, because I really, really want businesses to succeed, and I want Nevada to be #1 in cannabis. And so I want you to be, employing people in this state, and I want you to thrive. So let me ask you, how many employees overall are there in the corporation, in the organization?
Currently, there are 10 employees. And you mentioned, building successful businesses. One of the things that brought me to Nevada is there's a large corporate side of the cultivation side of the industry and less of a craft representation. And so our idea when we came here was to really offer that craft cannabis. And I can tell you that our product at this point has been so popular with the people of Nevada that we are consistently sold out. The safe room is consistently empty. We are very healthy. We pay our staff incredibly well. I have a fantastic staff that is, I couldn't ask for better people up here in Carson. You know, I myself am in the facility 6 days a week at times. You know, so this is the cultivation side of this business is where I started. That's where I'd like to end my career, right? I love doing this, and we have built something that I think the state of Nevada can be proud of, and that we are very proud of.
Thank you, and I commend you for also hiring Mr. Is it Westham for your compliance area. So I'll go ahead and open it up to the rest of the board members for any additional comments, concerns, questions. I think we had a question with regard to whether or not we would be able to just get updated status on, was it just the tax situation or whether it was just on the business?
Member Drett, I'm not sure about Member Berry. I would be comfortable with just a status check in a year with an update on tax liabilities. Not the personal ones, but, well, I guess all of them.
Chair, this is Senior Deputy Attorney General Allison Herr. Just to clarify with your question, it would be difficult to do a conditional approval of a transfer. Once we make the transfer, there's a property right that attaches, and we really don't have the standard then to roll that back in a year. You could do an approval and then still have status checks, at which, if you are not satisfied with the report, you could then make recommendations with regard to discipline.
Member Drett, so I misspoke, not a conditional approval, an approval with a condition. And then, but I do have a question to that. If, for example, there were tax liabilities in a year from now, there's been a little bit of gray area about the ability, and then that just changed during session. Would the CCB still have the ability to impose discipline for an outstanding tax liability?
We will for the next year. That will change over time. I apologize, I can't recall the exact date when tax takes over that, but there will still be some ability within the CCB to have disciplinary action over unpaid taxes. Sorry, that will work in hand with tax, which then will be able to suspend the tax portion of their license, which then would affect our tax portion. So coming on next year, there will be a little more stringent compliance that will be available through a combination of actions between the tax and the CCB.
Okay, should probably be less of an issue then.
Okay, and with that, unless there's additional questions or comments or concerns, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
One more comment that Alicia Ashcraft cannot complain about approvals of people with outstanding tax liabilities after this. Okay, Member Durrett, I move to approve I move to approve the transfer of interest request under agenda item 6B. And do we have waivers, or do we have any requests for waivers along with it? Like a waiver of 5.110?
I don't believe they did one.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I move to approve the TOI under agenda 6B. It will be an approval, but I would like to attach the condition that we do a status check in a year and ensure there are no outstanding tax liabilities other than the ones that we're aware of today.
Member Perry, second.
Thank you. We got a first and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We're really excited. We really, really, really love what we do. And thank you so much. Look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you. You too. Okay. Let's see. We are on the transfer of interest for Taproot Holdings. Chief Staley.
Chair Guzman Freilich, members of the board, David Staley for the record. Item C are TOI applications by Taproot Holdings NV LLC. TOIs number 250001 and 01A were filed requesting approval for an internal restructuring and addition of 2 new members, Nathan Yorger and Teresa Nakatani. Taproot has also requested a waiver of NCCR 5.110 pursuant to 5.112 for transfers of less than 5%. Staff suggests that if approved, the board limit Taproot's 5.112 waiver to expire on its next TOI agenda date. No areas of concern were developed in connection with this investigation. I am available for any questions, and my understanding is that Shane Terry, Nathan Jorger, and Teresa Nakatani are available to address any questions you may have as well. With that, Chair Guzman Freilich, I'll turn this item back to you.
Thank you, Chief Staley. Okay, who do we have presenting for this item? Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Nathan Jerger.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Good morning. I'm Teresa Nakatani.
Thank you.
And you have St. Terry on as well.
Perfect. Thank you for holding on there. All right, let us know what do we have going on here other than what we've already heard.
Okay, I guess at first, I think it's probably important to set the context. This really is 2 different objectives that we're trying to accomplish. And I want to say thank you to Chief Staley and the CCB team, because I think what we've structured here is certainly a milestone for us, and I hope sets the right example for the industry as well. The first part is probably more straightforward, and that's the approval of a convertible note to allow last Thursday to convert into our equity structure. And last Thursday is owned by Nathan and Teresa. So that should be the pretty traditional transfer of interest. The second portion of this is a little bit more complicated and nuanced. And as you're probably aware, it's been a lot more permissible in the cannabis industry for public companies to offer ownership to their employees. And we were, as a private LLC or a series of private LLCs, we were really challenged to find a creative way that fits within the CCB regulations, allows the company the flexibility, but ultimately what we feel is best for the company, and that's to bring our employees that have put as much time and effort, if not more, into this entity and into this business than we have, and allow them a part of this and be proud about wearing an agent badge that says you're an owner. So we had to work around by utilizing some of the NCCR 5.112 waivers of 5.110 to transfer less than 5%. And so what we're seeing with the entity structure is we created a few different subsidiaries in each of our licensed entities that right now those are 100% owned by me, but I will transfer my interest once the waiver is approved, and we'll be able to bring our employee pool. I think option pool is probably not the right way of saying it, but it's similar to what an option pool would look like. And by structuring this in this way, we found this is how we can stay compliant, how we can offer incentives to the people that deserve it. And I think it's a pretty important milestone, at least for us, to get through this hurdle, and something we've been working on for the last couple of years. And we're proud to be able to offer it to our team, and just again want to reiterate our support for the CCB and working through some of these challenges.
Well, kudos to you. Congratulations, and way to think outside the box. I know it's really hard to attract good team members and to maintain them, and it's competitive in every market, and so I think this is very commendable. So congratulations. And with that, I'll open it up to the board members for any questions that you might have. Do you have additional comments?
I do. I have one, and I apologize. I've been working with CCB staff mainly to get a very complicated org chart approved, which it might be in some of your materials. And I did notice on the agenda, it references the approval of PV Ventures and TR Tribe LLC. But if you look at the org chart, there's one entity that it didn't reference that was part of our application package, and that's TGL Collective LLC. That will be a member of the retail dispensary. And I just noticed that that entity name was absent from the agenda, but I believe it is part of our.
Okay, the TGL Collective.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And as far as agenda goes, we should be fine, correct? Because I mean, we can't add everything under an org chart. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. That's noted on the record. Okay, any additional questions? Or any questions with regard to this transaction? Or both of these transactions? I don't have any questions. I think it's pretty, at least the first is very, it's like you said, it's just a regular transfer of interest. And then the second one is, thank you for that explanation. So with that, if there's no additional questions, then I'll take a motion. And before I do that, do you have any comments? I want to make sure you're here. I want to hear from you.
No, we don't have any comments. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here.
Member Durrett, I move to approve the transfer of interest requested under agenda item 6C. In addition, the request for a waiver of 5.110 requirements would be approved subject to the condition that it would expire on the next agenda date.
Member Berry, second.
First, we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. Okay, with that, we're just going to go on to item number 7. And this is a security interest. Chief Staley.
Chair Guzman, Freilich, members of the board. For the record, I'm David Staley. I'm here to present agenda item number 7, which consists of one request for approval of proposed security interest. Item A is a request by Taproot Holdings NV LLC for approval of a security interest held by Kay Nicole Assarch through her company Rock Real Estate LLC. Rock has issued a conditional convertible promissory note to Taproot, which includes a conversion option to convert the debt to interest in Taproot. No areas of concern were developed in connection with this investigation. I'm available for any questions, and my understanding is that Shane Terry and Kay Nicole Assarch are available to address any questions you may have as well. With that, Chair Guzman Freilich, I'll turn this item back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think we lost Mr. Terry, or see.
Nope, I'm still on.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, hi there. Welcome back.
Thank you.
This is the Taproot agenda. We've got a lot of items here, but no, that's good. Okay, so this was a loan. And so on this, basically what we're doing, and I know that you've explained it a little bit, but the security interest, this was a loan that now is just, you're doing the conversion to equity?
No, this is actually, and I also haven't seen this go in front of the CCB before, but as part of 5.110 requirements, 678B.380, it states that no company is allowed to provide a security interest into a licensed entity without approval from the board. And we feel this is a pretty straightforward traditional debt financing structure that we're doing. They're not planning on converting at this time. I think technically, if they did decide to convert, it would fall under the 5112 waiver, because just based on the ownership that they would convert to. But regardless, we wanted to create a secured debt instrument that we could get approved, and it will create, if approved, no real changes to how we're already operating. It will just give them the reassurance that if anything was to happen, that they would be able to convert into equity in the future. And at that point, it would either fall under the 5112 waiver, or if it exceeded the 5%, we'd of course have to come back in front of the board.
Okay, and this is on something that already existed, correct?
We took an unsecured loan and now we are making it secured.
Okay, perfect. Any questions on this transaction? Okay, I'm prepared for a motion.
Member Mazzarano makes a motion to approve agenda item 7 regarding a proposed security interest in Taproot Holdings NV LLC.
Member Berry, second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thanks again.
Thank you all for your support this morning.
Take care. Okay, with that, we go on to our petitions. We have 2 petitions pursuant to NRS 678B.633. And the first one will be in open meeting and the second one will be in closed. So when we go to the second one, we will close the facility. But for now, we'll move on to, this is a petition filed by Mr. Colton Schuyler Mora. Good morning, Mr. Mora. How are you? Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Yes.
So I recently just moved to a small town called Caliente. Kind of grew up there. My grandma's owned a ranch there for 24 years. And they opened up a cannabis farm, if you will. And I decided to go and put an application. I got a temporary agent card and was working there, and I loved it. I mean, I loved learning like the new things about it because it was something that I was, newly introduced to, like figuring out the pH balances and the food and the nutrients and like how to balance them out and make sure that it's getting what it needs and stuff like that. And then like being outside in the fields and stuff, like I loved it. I do have a criminal background. That's why my agent card, my temporary, was denied. I didn't get approved for my actual one, but I have I've worked really, really hard to completely rehabilitate myself, my mind, my way of thinking, my behavior patterns, and like I made a mistake when I was a teenage kid, and I've been paying for it most of my 20s, unfortunately. So I mean, now like looking back, I don't even recognize myself, my thinking patterns, who I was when I was a kid or a teenager, and so like I would love to continue working, in the like cannabis industry and working for the farm that I was working for, because honestly I had a blast. Like it was really fun for me. I love learning new things and just like, I don't know, it sounds kind of corny, I guess, but just like watching them grow from little plants into the bigger plants. Like I liked it.
And thank you for submitting all of, you've got a lot of programs that you've gone through and
Yes, ma'am.
completed and gotten your certificates.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that you should be really proud of yourself because, not everybody actually completes these programs. Do you have, I think you gave us some phone numbers for some folks that you work with. Are they going to be calling in for you, or do you know if you have a job, if you were to get your your card, would you be able to return back to that same job?
Yes, ma'am, I could. One of my bosses, Gary, so Jose is my like actual boss who's over cultivation at the farm. His name is Jose, but a guy who sits in office, I don't really know what his job is. I don't mean to be rude in saying that. His name is Gary, and he said that he was going to send an email to you guys in regards saying that yes, I do still have a job. If I'm permitted, I'm sure I can make a call right now and say, hey, do I have a job if I get my card right now? And I'm very, very confident they would say yes, because every time I see him in town, because it's a really small town, hey man, like what's going on? How's the progress? Have you heard anything from the board? Like, let us know. We need you out here. You know, you're a hard worker. We'd love to have you back. And I've just been playing the waiting game like, hey man, I don't really know what's going on. Still waiting. So
We'll find out if Gary sent in that email. And if not, if we make a motion, we can make it, or have an instruction to follow up with Gary to make sure that, you're able to go back to that job. Any additional, or any questions?
Member Dredd, just to echo what the chair said, it's really impressive all the changes you've made. I know that is extremely hard once you're already in the system. So congratulations, and I hope everything works out.
thank you, ma'am.
Chair. Just checked with the team. We have not received that email yet, but if you'd like to send it after the meeting, we can
Okay.
process it. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll call him as soon as I walk outside. I'll call him now if I'm permitted. I know it's kind of like a courtroom hearing type thing, and you're not supposed to be on your phone. So
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see if we have any additional questions. Okay. Thank you for checking. Any questions or concerns, comments from the board members? Do you have any additional comments or
no,
questions
I
or
appreciate you
concerns?
guys allowing me to come in before you guys, and even if it does not get approved, like I appreciate the reconsideration of it.
Okay.
Member Mazzarana here. I just want to know, is this only the cultivation facility that you want to work at, or is there a dispensary in that small town also?
No, there's no dispensary. It's a population of maybe 600 people. So I know through the farm though, they have like buyers who I don't know the proper like terminology, so pardon me, but like everything that we grow there gets sent to Church Cannabis, and there's one other one. So everything's like already kind of spoken for when it's done being grown and bucked and everything like that. So there's no dispensary out there though. The closest one to us, I think, would be in Ely, but I don't know the name of that dispensary or anything. So it's just strictly a farm. I know that they do like it's on the inside. I don't really know too much about it. They just do like the cartridges or something like that. That's about all I know. I don't really get to go inside.
And you plan to stay in the small community to work?
Yes, ma'am.
And I imagine there's not too many job opportunities in that small community?
So actually, once my agent card was denied, the temporary, I got a job working for the city of Caliente. And I was working that job, and there was some pay issues where I wasn't getting my full check, and they couldn't figure out where the like mishap was, and it kind of just bothered me a little bit because it's the city. You guys should be more organized than that. So I stopped working for the city, but yeah, there really isn't a whole lot of opportunity out there, unfortunately.
Well, Member Mazzarana supports someone who wants a good job to be able to get a good job.
Are you still on probation?
No, ma'am. I actually successfully completed parole last month.
Okay.
I have a certificate of completion in an email I can send over to you guys if you would like.
I'm okay. I'll take your word for it. Okay. With that, is there a motion?
Member Berry, I move to approve Colton Mora's petition for exemption.
Is there a second?
Member Dredd, I second, but I would ask to add the condition that staff be able to confirm that the employment is still available.
Yes, ma'am.
And if that for some reason doesn't work out, I would like a way for him to be able to come back if he wants to still work in the industry. What's the best? I'm just wildly looking around. Could he get back on calendar somehow without going through the whole process? If, for example, say this facility doesn't confirm, but he can get a job at a different facility. I'd say, okay, I'm sorry. May I second with the condition that that your potential employer, regardless of who it is able to confirm that you will have employment in a cannabis facility?
Yes, ma'am.
Member Mazarano seconds that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. I did have one question. Just to be sure that you guys get the email like in proper time, because I'll make a phone call as soon as I walk out the door.
Yeah.
Is there a specific email, or would you like me to just have him send it to the board overall? Because I know there is like a northern board. So like, what would be the best way for him to send it to you guys to receive it in a timely manner?
Chair, Megan is up north and she can answer that question.
Colton, you can go ahead and send it to the normal email that you've been sending all of your paperwork to. That's the fastest way to get it to the proper channel.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, there you go.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Okay, now we're going to go to the next item, and this is going to be closed. So we're going to ask LCB to go ahead and secure the room and or the rooms. That's going to take a few minutes because we have to do some different things, and so we're going to take a 5-minute break so that the room can be secured or the rooms can be secured, and then we'll come back on the record. Okay.
Please note for those watching on the live stream, when the meeting reconvenes, it will be on a separate stream. Please click the link in the YouTube video description for the link to the remainder of the meeting.